Getting some exercise, huh? How far are you going? You hablan English? Hey, let's face it. This is the elephant in the room, right? She's probably going to drain you dry. In more ways than one. I'm going to go into some of these reasons why I feel this way today. Don't miss anything. Don't comment too early. Watch it to the end. What's up, folks? RichesMethod, back at it again. All right, so before we get started, don't forget to subscribe, like early, share. Go ahead and share this on Facebook or any other social medias. So, let's go. As my brother likes to say, the Latin culture is very hot-blooded. So, you know, from where you're from, the women might have a time frame of when they're going to give it to you. They might have a 3-date rule, etc., etc. But this is a very liberated culture, coming from the Spanish original culture. Very about romance, very into intimacy, and it's not uncommon that you'd probably get it very quickly, first time, first day, if there's enough attraction. Problem might come in where, depending on where you're from, where you're connecting intimacy and intimate relations with deeper feelings than just the act. That might lead you to potentially get yourself in problems, feeling that the situation is more than it is. Another one is, in this culture, it's not uncommon that as soon as a girl sees a guy that she likes, she moves extremely fast. I've heard stories of people getting married within 2 weeks of breaking up, 1 month of breaking up to another person. It's not uncommon for people to move very fast. So, because she'll introduce you to her family, her friends, she'll start to call you her boyfriend, even husband, extremely quickly, within months. That can lead you to potentially not have enough time to get to truly know that person, to know the ins and outs of them, to even know what they truly desire or are looking for. It tends to be that passionate, whatever I'm feeling right now, let me go with it type of culture. And they do it with each other also. But they also move on very quickly also, because they understand that's what the culture's like. Whereas where you're from, if you're the type of person that loves hard, falls hard, you'll potentially fall for someone quicker and stronger than they will, because the culture is different. You'll read it as being more than what it is, and you won't necessarily spend enough time to truly get to know if y'all are on the same page, if you're truly looking for the same thing, if you're going the same direction in life. Another reason why a lot of guys are leaving Dominican women, well, some guys, they can be extremely possessive, and when necessarily, extremely aggressive. Now, of course, the whole thing is that, okay, it's the more traditional woman, right? The woman who is going to be a little bit more polite, a little bit more quiet, a little bit more about family. And all those things might exist. But we also got to realize that Dominican women can be extremely possessive. Who are you looking at? Where you going? Do you know that girl? Why would you talk to that girl? Why would you call that girl baby, honey, sweetheart, whatever that you might view as terms of endearment where you're from? But she'll want to watch you. Where you going? Where you been? What time you coming back? Strangely enough, though, if you try to do similar, she'll tell you how you're machisto, right? You're being extremely chauvinistic. And so, you know, for some guys, at first, that'll feel very good. Oh man, she's really, really into me, right? Except when you feel like y'all should be comfortable, you've solidified everything, she's living with you. Before you know it, every time you gotta go somewhere or do anything, she's on your phone. She's asking you where you are, who you're talking to. She don't want you to go nowhere, and she doesn't want you out of their eyesight, especially if you're a foreigner, because she already knows also you're in high demand, and it's very easy for you to get with another woman. Also, because a lot of the other Dominican women just don't care. They do it even with their own people. The women will plot and scheme. A best friend might plot and scheme so she can get the best friend's guy, or how to send a girl to the guy, have the girl take pictures, and then claim, Oh yeah, you see, you're a man to her best friend. He was interested in other women. Look at him with this photo with another woman when she might have sent that woman to entice that man, right? The woman ain't gonna do nothing, but she's just being paid to go there and make sure she can flirt with a guy, get some evidence so that the other couple could break up and the other girl could move into the situation, right? So that's another reason a lot of times guys end up leaving a lot of Dominican women, not understanding that part to the culture. Now, one of the primary reasons also that people forget, the number one tourist destination for the Dominican Republic, those tourists come from the United States, right? It's only about an hour away, hour 20 minutes away from Miami. It's their number one tourist source. And this can be an extremely materialistic culture. It's about how you look, how you dress, your gold chain, and your style. Yes, there's a lot of poverty here, so it's also about status. And what does that mean? That means at the end of the day, this happens to both Dominican men as well as foreigners. They can become a target for women who are all about money and material things. If you combine the fact that it's a very fast-moving culture, you can potentially get swept up within all the lovey-dovey feeling. And before you know it, you're missing all the signs that she just wants only your money. Especially you guys who got the mentality of thinking that, you know what, this is a developing country, they're all in need, and I need to help them out. So you come in for a few weeks, or you live here, you get into the attitude that you got to do the girl's nails, hair, you got to take care of her and her family potentially, and you miss all the signs because now the lines are so blurred, you can't tell whether or not she's truly interested in you or if she's truly interested in the opportunity, especially as she also acts very jealous. You mix those things in, you can't differentiate the difference. It all blows up. You realize later that she was mostly interested in just the material wealth and the opportunities that you came with, and then you gotta leave her, right? Even Dominican men, that'll happen to them. I've talked to a guy that was working on one of these gas stations. He's Dominican. And he said, man, how did you meet this girl? And I told him, hey, I met her in person, the girl I was dating. Now, at the time, he's telling me, oh, okay, good, because you got to be careful, OD. I know where he was headed, so I said, Chapiadores. He's like, yeah, oh my God, so you know. He's like, man, these girls, man, I met one the other day. This guy's Dominican. And he's telling me, you know, hey, man, and it turns out the whole time she had another boyfriend. And he was getting Chapiadores, right? So he's like, yeah, a lot of them got two boyfriends. This is a very hard-working guy. He's younger. He got two jobs. He's learning English and speaking English. So, you know, these little reasons are some of the reasons why. All right, so we're going to talk about the elephant in the room. This is a culture, Dominican culture, where people tend to tell you whatever they think you want to hear just in a moment. You know, the people lie a lot. I've come to realize that, yes, it's lies, but it's coming more from a perspective of, let me just say in this moment what I need to resolve this situation or to get my way in the moment. If you go to turn on the electricity, somebody will tell you, yeah, you could get it turned on today. The guy is going to come right out. Next thing you know, you got electricity the next day or the day afterwards, or your landlord is laughing because he already know that after 3 o'clock on a Friday, nobody is working no more, right? It's almost as though they don't want to upset you, so they're not going to tell you what they need to, or many times they're not going to say anything at all. If a girl feels like she doesn't want to do something, instead of her saying, hey, you know, sorry, I ain't feel like it, she's probably just going to not even show up or not talk to you, right? All right, another one of the reasons is they tend to have a sense of entitlement. Everything is, they're still expected to work out their way or to be for them monetarily or otherwise, no matter what they do, right? We all know that where we're from, there's consequences in the world, right? If I do A and A is wrong, B will happen. But in this culture, people tend to think even if they do A by you, they still expect the B is going to happen. As though there's no reward, there's no punishment, and there's no reward system in the world. So, just a random example, you might run into a female who she cheats on you, or she talks to somebody else. And then, at the end of the day, when you try to break it off, she'll be like, why are you doing that? And by the way, I need you to do this for me, and I need you to do this along with me, and still expect everything to work out her way. Not realizing that if you disrespect someone, or if you do something bad to somebody, that person is no longer going to rock with you, right? So they tend to shoot themselves in the foot a lot, because it's most times a culture where any and everything flies. It's like, well, this person did this thing to me, but in a week later we're talking and everything should be okay again, and we're going to act like nothing had happened. Why? Because they're steadily dogging each other out, right? Now, I've seen women here who got 3 boyfriends, man. One day I'm listening to her bang one dude out, then I ain't see that dude for a week. There's another dude banging it out. And then after 3 more weeks, that dude come back, the first one, and he's banging it out. And then randomly, neither the first 2 is around, and now there's a third one, right? And nobody thinks anything of it, because that's just how they view that intimacy, as just an act. It may as well be going on a date. That's what it's like, right? In their mindset. And that makes a lot of guys eventually just, throw the cards on the table and be like, I'm out. It ain't for me. You got a lot of tourism here, right? In the Dominican Republic. So it tends to be an attitude of, if I can, and if this person is dumb enough to do it, then I will. What do I mean by that? Where you and me are from, we might say, you know what? If this person is stupid enough to do something, let's say this person uses they lead with their wallet. And this girl originally was not going to ask this man, but this man, he decided to do it. They're not going to stop there. First, they're not going to stop him. They're not going to say, hey man, most times, of course this is some, they're not everybody. I don't want to make a extreme generalization, but the culture tends to lead this direction. The attitude is going to be, I didn't tell that person to do that. So where I'm from, it's more like, not because you can mean you should, If I buy you a house, if I buy you a car, and I did it out to the niceness of my heart, you might want to first say, I don't know if I should accept that. Where are we along the line? And maybe I only knew you 2 months and I was dumb enough to do it, right? There's a lot of cultures, not because they can tax you, mean they will. Like if you go to Asia, they'll try to be honest. If you overpay, they'll try to give you back the money. Where I was born, they'll do the same. But let me tell you, in this Dominican culture, it's not going to happen. As a matter of fact, they're probably going to try to get more from you initially, and then see if you understand that you're being overpriced, right? So along with that attitude comes, well, if that person want to do it, 1, I'm going to take it. But then 2, they're going to look at it like that means they can just tax you more. And they're going to be like, maybe I could see if I could get something from my brother, my cousin, my sister, my whole family also. And a lot of guys get their heart broken that way. A lot of guys feel used. And what happens? They're like, I'm out. No longer messing with the Dominican woman. I actually took a look online, and I realized that there's a lot of countries that don't accept the Dominican Republic passport. And I wondered for a while why a country that's one of the fastest growing Latin American countries in the world can't use their passports to go to a lot of other countries. And I think it's because of the nature of the culture. And that same nature of that culture is most likely what makes a lot of people eventually not want to mess with a lot of Dominicans. What ends up happening, man, is that she can really drain you, right? She'll drain you for your time, your energy, and also your money. There's stories and stories out there, of course, guys. So watch your back. Some of the reasons why some guys end up leaving Dominican women.